So it's that time of year again, the holiday season is upon us, Christmas presents need to be bought, and you're sitting there thinking, what on earth am I going to buy? Well, presumably if you've clicked on this video, there's at least one person in your life that you'd like to get a Bookish gift for. And perhaps by the end of this video, there'll be quite a few, because I have a ton of Christmas gift ideas for you, and hopefully a gift for everybody in your life, or at least I'll give it a shot. But one thing we don't have time for is to dilly-dally, so let's have a look at the books. So if the person you're buying for is a fiction fan, then I've got a few 2016 releases to share with you, because the more recently it came out, the less likely they are to have it already. And since it's a gift, you want that fiction to be beautiful both inside and out, and that means that Picador has pretty much got you covered. I have 4 books in particular from our recent catalogue that stand out to me as excellent Christmas presents. The first is Emma Donoghue's latest novel, The Wonder, her first book since the release of the film adaptation of Room, which went down incredibly well. So even if they're not already an Emma Donoghue's writing fan, they may have seen the film and be interested to check her stuff out. Well, The Wonder inspires the same emotional attachment to the characters as Room, but is instead set in 1850s rural Ireland, and is about a young girl who supposedly hasn't eaten a single thing in 4 months, and a nurse is enlisted to find out the truth. Not to mention, there's one thing that's always perfect on a book cover at Christmas time, which is gold foiling. But from another one of our beloved authors here at Panmac and Picador, we have The Muse by Jessie Burton. Another stunning cover. This one's set across 2 time periods in 1960s London and 1930s Spain. And as it follows a piece of missing artwork, if you have any friends or family in your life who are particularly art connoisseurs, this is probably right up their street. But if you're looking for something in particular that they may never have discovered before, then you might want to try What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell. This is his debut novel, but it has gone down a storm. It's about a man in America still struggling to figure life out after a lifelong battle against homophobia. It's short, compact, but incredibly moving, and an excellent one to gift this Christmas. Talking about compact, I have Miss Jane by Brad Watson. This is an absolutely delicious little book, if that's an appropriate way to describe one. It's about a woman who grows up in 20th century rural Mississippi, who struggles with a birth defect that makes traditional life as a woman in this time particularly difficult. But if you'd like to go for something a little bit more thematic for this time of year and know somebody who just absolutely loves Christmas and everything about it, then there's always books set at Christmas. We have Christmas Under the Stars by Karen Swan, a gorgeously consuming novel set in snowy Canada about friendship, family and love. Or for those cozy comfort mystery fans, this is always the perfect time of year to crack out a new one. So why not try Murder in Advent by David Williams? Because what more could you want this Christmas than snow and crime? One book that always sums up this time of year for me is in fact Picador's Carol and Duffy Christmas poem. And this year, yes, we have another one to add to that collection. This year Carol and Duffy brings us The King of Christmas, which is a gorgeously, fully illustrated Christmas poem to go alongside all of our others in this collection. So whether you know somebody that's been collecting these for years or hasn't already checked them out but you know is a poetry fan, then you can either pick up the latest in the series or get a few and just give them a whole collection. But to turn back time a little bit, there's always the classic. This year we released the Macmillan's Classics Library, which are these gorgeous new editions of some of your favourite stories and potentially some of your friends and family's favourites as well. We've got Charles Dickens, J.M. Barrie, Jane Austen, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and many more. If you know somebody's favourite classic already, a beautiful edition of one of their favourites is always a gorgeous gift. But if you don't know their favourite and just know that they like a beautifully packaged book and like a bit of fantasy or romance and want to pick up a new book for them, then I already filmed a video all about classics recommendations for every reader, which you can check out if you're interested. But I meant it when I said buying somebody a beautiful edition of their favourite book is a lovely thing to do at Christmas time. And even if they're not into their 19th century literature, there might be a modern classic for them instead. For example, the new Picador Modern Classic edition of Bridget Jones's Diary. There's a good chance you know somebody that's already a Bridget Jones fan, or somebody that loves the films but has yet to read the books. You'll be doing them a favour. But given that I probably wouldn't give Bridget Jones to my father, another one I've got to show you is the new edition of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, If you know somebody that loves science fiction, or loves comedy, or loves both, then this series is the perfect gift. These lovely new editions have sprayed edges which just make them look absolutely gorgeous, and slightly metallic covers, and each one is slightly different but matches. This is the first one, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Let's be honest though, not everybody's a massive fiction person, and Christmas time is the perfect time to gift a little bit of knowledge too, so why not try some non-fiction? For starters, the easiest bet is always an autobiography or biography of somebody you know that they love. So maybe the person you're buying for is a sports buff and would like Damon Hill's autobiography, Watching the Wheels. Alternatively, they may have been a Time Team or Blackadder addict, so why not gift them Tony Robinson's autobiography, No Cunning Plan. But if that person you're buying for is slightly younger and into their more contemporary television, they may be familiar with Scarlett Moffat from Gogglebox. And this is Scarlett's ponderings on life, the universe and everything. But whilst we're on the topic of television, one book I'm pretty sure is going to go down a storm at this Christmas is The Secret History of Twin Peaks. If you have a Twin Peaks fan in your life, then this is a must gift this Christmas, and it's a kind of book that you're not as likely to treat yourself to. It is absolutely phenomenally laid out with a dossier full of behind the scenes information, and the packaging makes this one a pretty special one to find under the tree. Some more non-fiction that I think may be particularly appropriate this year that came out in 2016 includes Walls Come Tumbling Down by Daniel Rachel. Now this one's perfect for that person in your life who was around during the 70s, 80s and the early 90s, because it is an oral history of the political music scene of those decades. So does somebody you know like to listen to The Clash or The Specials? Well, they'll probably thank you for this one. Then we have Black and British, A Forgotten History, which is based on the BBC documentary series that came out recently. This book spans from the Roman Empire all the way up to the 20th century and unequivocally demonstrates that Black history is British history and that the two cannot be separated. But from history to a more contemporary Britain, I have This Is London by Ben Judah. This book talks to immigrants across London from various different social classes and walks of life. Through this, it examines the landscape of contemporary culture. But not everybody just likes to sit around and read all the time. I know. Weird. The person you're buying for may be interested in a book with a little bit more practical guidance in hand, or even some things to do. Regardless of who you're buying for this Christmas, one that you should probably give a look is How to Hygge: The Secrets of Nordic Living. This is a gorgeous book that explores the secrets of Scandinavian living, which is all about coziness and healthy hedonism, which is perfect for this time of year. It's full of ideas of things to do, tips on how to live a more Scandinavian lifestyle, and even some delicious recipes from savoury to sweet, and a little bit of alcohol in there too. But I appreciate that not everybody in your life is necessarily over the ages of 12, so I do have some children's book recommendations for Christmas gifting this year as well. For gifts that they'll keep for a lifetime, I have these gorgeous editions illustrated by Mabel Lucy Atwell of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Peter Pan and Wendy. You know, even if there's an adult in your life whose favourite childhood story was one of these, you may have a gift in one of these too, because they are stunning and full of gorgeous illustrations as well as words. For the littlest ones in your life, there's always more Gruffalo. This year we brought out the new Gruffalo puppet book, which I'm demonstrating here and having a great time regardless of age. But we also have the Gruffalo Crumble, which is a lovely gift you can share with little ones in your life, because it's all about fun little recipes that you can do together, some of which might even turn out looking like their favourite picture book characters. If they're getting a little bit older though, the perfect book is the new illustrated edition of The Lie Tree by Frances Harding, illustrated by the spectacular Chris Riddell. This is another one that's a gorgeous gift for people that are already fans of the book, but also a lovely way to introduce them to a fabulous magical story. Another one that I think is lovely to share with others is a poem for every night of the year. This is another beautiful book that you can keep for a lifetime and is wonderful to read to children and for them to read themselves when they're a little bit older. But if it's stocking fillers you came for and my classics weren't enough, don't worry, I've got you covered. First up, I have Sad Animal Facts by Brooke Barker, which is an illustrated collection of adorable and humorous animal facts. Then there's 101 Bets You Will Always Win by Richard Wiseman, which is one of those books that once you give somebody on Christmas morning, they're going to then spend the rest of Christmas Day absorbed in and trying out on you. But then probably the perfect way to finish up your Christmas gifting and this gift guide is Mindfulness Moments, which is perfect for pretty much anybody because pretty much everybody gets stressed. This compact little book is a combination of both colouring in to de-stress too, and also little tips and pieces of advice of things you can do in your everyday life to help relax. But if I've not managed to recommend a book for everybody in your life in this video, I'll be pretty surprised. If I have missed somebody out though, do feel free to ask for some recommendations if you know what kind of thing they're into in the comments down below, and I will give it a shot because I'm pretty certain there is a book for everybody this Christmas. In the meantime, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and good luck with your Christmas shopping.